Hello, my name is Michael Johnston. Today is November 28th, 2015. I am a graduate school student pursuing my doctoral degree in maritime law in the People's Republic of China at Xiamen University in the southern Chinese coastal city of Xiamen. I've lived in China a number of years, and I make these videos to discuss elements of my life in China. Today, we will be talking about nightclubs in China. So, like anybody else, I occasionally go out with my friends to go drinking. Sometimes we end up going to nightclubs. China has many nightclubs. In fact, nightclubs are more popular in China than bars. Actually, the number one most popular pastime is karaoke, or as they say in Chinese, KTV, karaoke television, or KTV. You'll see big neon red letter signs that say KTV everywhere in China, and KTV is the number one destination for those people who want to go and go out at night. But the number two destination is nightclubs. There are not very many bars, and most Chinese people I meet who have a nightlife usually go to nightclubs. So nightclubs in China are different from nightclubs in many other countries. In the United States and also in Japan, nightclubs are for dancing. Your typical American nightclub will be a big area with a very large dance floor, DJ or disc jockey somewhere off to the side or maybe in the main area, and then a bar area to buy drinks. There might be a few tables here or there. Chinese nightclubs are very different. Picture a room that is kind of shaped like an auditorium, like an oval cut in half. So it's a semi-oval. In the center of that oval, where the center would be, it's cut in half, would be a dais, a raised platform. And on that dais will be a disc jockey or DJ. And the dais is also the dance area. That's right. So the dance area is actually very small. It's a stage in the middle of the room. That's where you go to dance. Everything else is going to be tables. There's two kinds of tables. Closer to the stage will be tables, bolted to the floor with no chairs. Further in the back, along the wall, will be several booths with sofa-like seats and a big table for you to sit at. And those kind of VIP booths will be all along the outer wall of the nightclub, and then, of course, somewhere in the vicinity will be a bar. And that's how the nightclubs are arranged in China. the space for dancing is actually very small. Most of the area is taken up with tables or with booths. This is because in China, most people don't go to nightclubs to meet new people. The typical nightclub scene in China is going to be maybe you go out with 4 or 5 people, all of whom you already know, and you have no intention of meeting a new person that night. You just want to hang out with your friends, and so you go to a nightclub. If you have a lot of money, you get to sit in the booth area. You sit on the sofa with your friends. If you don't have a lot of money, you can go to one of the tables in the middle, the ones that are bolted to the ground and don't have chairs. It's just like a stool, and you just stand around and you drink and you eat. There are lots of snacks that are brought out in the nightclubs. Buyer beware, these are Chinese snacks. I went to a nightclub once in Sichuan province when I was studying in Chengdu at Xinan Minzu Daxue with the USAC, University of Study Abroad Consortium, or USAC guys. That was years ago, my first time in China. And we went to a nightclub and we had rabbit brain on the half skull. They took the heads of some rabbits, cut them in half, and then fried them. And you picked the brain out with chopsticks and ate it. Now that's an extreme example of what I'm talking about, but in Chinese nightclubs, that's the type of food people prefer to eat. They have a lot of fruit. Usually have these like fruit boats with like a lot of watermelon, the stomach of a cow boiled and shredded, or you get shredded beef, some peanuts. And they bring these accoutrements to your table with some drinks. They bring you big drinks, like a big thing of Chivas Royale and some tea. People like to mix whiskey and tea in China. And you drink and you eat around a table with your friends. That's what you do. And when you feel like dancing, you leave the table, you go to the dais, and you dance with the people you came with. You don't generally meet new people. Sometimes you do, but that's what it is. Different experience. Music. The music in Chinese nightclubs is loud, techno. They don't play a lot of hip-hop. They don't play a lot of rock and roll. They don't play a lot of anything else. They play lots and lots of techno. Go-go dancers. There will be lots and lots of go-go dancers in Chinese nightclubs. Some of the higher nightclubs will have foreign go-go dancers. They'll get Caucasian people, black people, or, assorted other varieties of human beings, and they'll have them dance around, and they dance. They're go-go dancers.
悠悠来自精英美食的播出，从性感的主播带给你们现场的诱惑。来吧，这是这个感官重新离开的世界。
Nightclubs in China are loud, boisterous affairs, a cacophony of sound. The music is really loud, and they have strobe lights and disco balls and just like shiny bright lights all over the place. They'll have like a PowerPoint, like a screen where they'll play stuff on it. The nightclub I went to recently, they do dance routines, and they had a dance routine where a group of people came out. Many of them happened to be foreigners, non-Chinese nationals, and they were dressed like and behaved like the people from the Fast and the Furious movies. They were kind of like lookalikes, not very good lookalikes, but like, I mean, they weren't Chinese, and you know, they were vaguely white or black or brown people, and they looked kind of like the characters from Fast and the Furious, and they danced around, and they did like a dance, interpretive dance thing of one of the scenes from one of the Fast and the Furious movies, and I've never seen even one of those movies, so I could not tell you from which of the like 28 billion of those movies they've made which particular scene within those 28 billion. I mean, how many of those movies they can make, I mean, whatever. But the point is, they had a big projector on the stage, and behind it they played a scene from the Fast and the Furious movie, and the people in front of the projector, the go-go dancers, danced around and kind of acted like the people in the movie, and then the DJ playing tunes on top of it. And yeah, it was dumb. Yeah, bathroom. So one thing that will surprise many people here in Xiamen, in China, when you go to nightclubs, is that people give you a massage when you go to the men's room or women's room in China. In a dance club. Some places will have professional massage people. Now, I'm not talking about anything bad. I'm just talking about, like, okay, this happened to me. This is a true story. This happened to me. It also happened to a friend of mine. I went to a nightclub, and I went to use the bathroom, not knowing what would happen. I walk into the men's room. It's gross as hell, very disgusting. I go to use the urinal, and when I get done using the urinal, suddenly I feel somebody's hands come up on my shoulders, like, uh-oh, and then somebody kind of like bear hugs me and then picks me up, and I'm like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I'm about to die. And then suddenly, bam, my back cracked. And then the guy puts me down and like cracks my neck before I have time to react. And I realize this person isn't trying to strangle me. They're giving me a back massage. And then I turn around, and it's this old man, shorter than me, an old Chinese man. He's got like gold teeth, and he's wearing like a cheap, you know, like the cheap kind of waiter outfits that you see people wear in like in restaurants or whatever. And he's just some guy, I guess, that the nightclub paid to go give back massages to people in the men's room. So they have random old Chinese old men giving back massages in nightclubs in the men's room. I think they also have them in the women's room, but I don't know. But they give you massages. The first time that happened to me, I was very afraid. I thought maybe some gangster was about to like strangle me, but it was just some old man giving me a back massage. So I gave him a few Chinese dollars, and told him to go away. But they have them all over the place. And sometimes, you know, sometimes in the better places, they'll wait and they'll ask you, hey, do you want a massage? Do you want a back rub? And then you can just say, no, thank you. But sometimes they sneak up on you. And I'm not lying. I wish I was. I wish it was a joke, but it's not. So beware. And beware for rabbit brain. I did eat the rabbit brain when I had it It wasn't that bad. It's just meat. Yeah. Metal detectors. There are a lot of metal detectors in these places. They also have a lot of bar floozies. I don't know, and it's not a good term, but they pay people, usually young women, sometimes young men as well, to work in the bar and to chat with customers. And they just walk up to you. Sometimes it's obvious. They'll be wearing like a uniform and they'll have a number. And you know that they're there to make conversation with you, pretend that they like you artificially, and maybe try to get you to buy some drinks. Other times it's not as obvious. You don't realize that they're employees. You think they're just people who, or just patrons or whatever. Maybe they're talking to you for some reason. And many nightclubs will be connected to a KTV, to a karaoke place. There's one place my friend likes to go to. My friend Ted lives very close to a nightclub in China, and it's a building with several floors. One floor is a nightclub. Two more are karaoke things. You go inside and there's different karaoke rooms. And, you know, you can go between them. And whatever. The names of nightclubs in China. So in China, a lot of nightclubs don't have real names. And they'll just be like a number. I guess it's like the address or something. Like the nightclub I just referenced is called 1801. 1801. It's just the name of it. There's another one called 1898, like the year or something. I think it's the address of the building, like 1898 blah 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 street, but it just says 1898. Other places will have wacky names. There's one place in Xiamen called Open House. I remember when I lived in Ningbo in Zhejiang province, there was one near the confluence of three rivers that was called Gaga, like Gaga House or something. And then when I lived in Chengdu, there was a place called Ice and Fire. There's a place called Bar Zero, where some Tibetans got into a knife fight once. Thank God, we got the hell out of that one. And then there was another place called Bobby, like Barbie, like Barbie doll. They said in Chinese Bobby. That was I don't know if those places are even around. That was in Erhuan Lu. The second ring road, not far from Tianfu Huayuan, where we used to live back in the old USAC days, and a place called Open House here in Xiamen. So, they're around. Nightclubs are not that popular in China. They exist, but they're not really like the hip thing. People go to them, and usually there's not that many foreigners. It's mostly Chinese people. And again, it's just a bunch of tables and booths that you sit with your friends. You don't meet new people. Strobe lights, lasers, disco balls, very loud music, not many people to dance with, go-go dancers, expensive drinks, and random Chinese old men trying to give you massages. So that's nightclubs in China. Thank you. Goodbye.